Hello viewers and welcome to Africa and Beyond the Television Network, and we continue to take a look on what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. Comrade Neva Masquera say he has raised something very important which we need to take a look upon right here. And remember, he's a ZANU-PF member or a former ZANU-PF member. He says surveillance has been increased on the military top brass with 88% of communication with their retired colleagues being tapped. Lots of security intelligence detours planted. October, pachachemwa zvakare. Muda is busy. Do whatever you will with this just-in-time detail. So this is what he said, and he attached a picture of military men carrying a coffin. And this is something very important. Is it a coffin or a casket? I do not know, but whatever it is. So what is of importance at this point in time is to note that we have seen several deaths of high-profile military men, both retired and serving. The major question is this sickness or is something else? Nobody knows, because vazhinji vacho kungonzi adona kufam afa. These are sudden deaths. Hauna mbonzwa kurwara kwake, adona afa, adai afa, collapsed and died just like that. So this is a problem, and because of succession issues, it seems as if various methods and mechanisms are now being used to deal with these matters or to deal with one another. So wait to see. October is getting close. Wait to see what is going to happen. Then also there is an issue of Savior Kasukuwere. He says in South Africa, Kasukuwere is once again a top target and listed for elimination before March 2025. The declaration is that he has to be taken out by all means because of strong suspicion that he could be working with the military. Dr. Walter Mzembe, watch your big brother. So this is a warning to Walter Mzembe as well as Savior Kasukuwere. This is what he's saying, and is because of suspicion. He claims that Kasukuwere is working with the military. Is that true? At this point in time, no one knows. And we cannot make comments about who and who is working with the military and why. So this is something very important at this point in time. And remember, Kasukuwere is tipped to succeed Emmerson Mnangagwa. What it means is, if Kasukuwere is to succeed Emmerson Mnangagwa, both Mnangagwa and Chiwenga will have to go. What it means is Chiwenga would miss the presidency or the leadership of ZANU-PF unless they bring Chiwenga as president. Then they bring Kasukuwere as vice president and others. But is that possible? No. This is the reason why we then come again with another issue, another story of factions. We now have different factions which are fighting to influence the outcomes of succession in the nation of Zimbabwe. We now have a faction which is controlled by Munumtapa. We now have a faction which is now controlled by Generari, and also possibly a faction which is controlled by Kasukuwere. Then we have a faction loyal to change. These are the factions which are then present. So the major important thing is to note that whatever outcome of these factions, there are very, very strong factions. So at this point in time, you can count up to 4 or 5 factions at this point in time, which are fighting to succeed Emmerson Mnangagwa. Some within ZANU-PF and some without ZANU-PF. So it's a moment of madness in the Zimbabwe political arena. And a lot is happening at this point in time. Scheming is happening. Money is exchanging hands. A lot of activity is happening at this point in time. But that weakens the security apparatus in total, because once you start elimination, survival by elimination, what it means is you are weakening yourselves. You are weakening the top security apparatus. And at the end of the day, it does have its own disadvantages. This is the reason why, personally, I'm in agreement with Nelson Chamisa being quiet agreement with Nelson Chamisa, doing his things quietly and underground. That gives him an upper hand because all of these factions do not know what he's planning. Savior Kasukuwere, Walter Mzembe, or the G40, the entire G40, they would want to know what he's planning. They can't. The entire Mafidi dynasty faction, they would want to know what is planning. They can't. So that is a strategy which is very, very, very important. And this then brings us back to the issue of praying for key people within the military apparatus. We have to pray that God preserves key people within the military. He preserves their lives because they want to put a full stop to these leaders, because these are the people who are going to determine the direction which Zimbabwe is going to take. These are people who are going to determine who takes over from Emmerson Mnangagwa. So without these people, then it's a problem, and God should, and we have to pray that God protects these people and he preserves their lives. So at this point in time, a lot of scheming is happening. I know that a lot of people, they are agitated. They want Nelson Chamisa to make a move, but it's too dangerous for Nelson Chamisa to make a move. He must remain quiet, work underground, and do his things quietly and silently as he has been doing. This is the best strategy ever we have seen so far. Strategic ambiguity is paying off and giving the much needed results. So he says, owing to his strong roots within ZANU-PF, former cabinet minister Kasukuwere, who was barred from contesting the 2023 presidential elections, is widely regarded as the biggest threat to dynasty ambitions by the dynasty Cabal, led by Mnangagwa's children. So they perceive Kasukuwere as the biggest challenger of Emmerson Mnangagwa. One of the key indications, or one of the key issues we need to outline, is that it's very difficult to tell if Chiwenga is actually working against Emmerson Mnangagwa 100%. There is a greatest chance that if Chiwenga and Kasukuwere are not working together, then it then makes it impossible for Chiwenga then to support Kasukuwere. So you would see in the end, or at the end, Chiwenga would sabotage Kasukuwere. So the faction Yana Kasukuwere, if they are not working together with Chiwenga, they will be sabotaged by Chiwenga himself. At a certain point in time, he can simply support the dynasty to spite the other comrades vanenge vakuenda behind his back, knowing fully well kuti yanenge achipadawo. The only agreement they could reach is that Chiwenga becomes the president, Kasukuwere becomes the vice president, and they find another candidate for the Matabeleland region or from Zapu. That is the arrangement they would agree on. And that arrangement is very strange, very difficult to achieve, which makes it possible that they will have to eliminate one another severally, so that they come up with something strategic. One of the most important things is to know that anybody and everybody who is supporting Nelson Chamisa, they are watching while these issues are happening. And they have not shown loyalty to anybody. Varukungo actor is normal. This is the reason why the citizens of Zimbabwe must be happy. It's because we are winning from our side. From the look of things, we are winning. And because our team remains intact, our team remains undisturbed. Yet the other factions varikupedzana pachavo, and this is an unstoppable team, an unstoppable generation. And politics is politics. As usual, the one with the best strategy is going to win. So we continue to watch and see what is going to happen. Regai vambopedzana vamborwisana pachavo, and we will see who is going to emerge victorious within ZANU-PF. But remember, that is not going to stop the issues of change. So lastly, the International Cables Network says, with Emmerson Mnangagwa indicating right at the 7 kilometer peg wayo widely being anticipated to turn left at 11-kilometer mark, there are fresh reports of targeted eliminations in Zimbabwe. So these reports zvinoita sokuti ari kuramba achingouya on daily basis kuti nhasi kwaane rimwe list, mangwana kwaane rimwe list. If these allegations are true, or if this conspiracy is true, then what it means is that only indicates or shows how divided these people would be, because when you conduct when you draft a list with 10 people, and those 10 people vanhu vari kufungidzira kuti okay ndo vanhu vari against, then when you draft another list and add 5 more people, it shows kuti your intelligence was not sufficient enough to know who is who, which means you leave some elements within. The more you continue to eliminate top brass people, the more you leave the people who have been supporting them and working with them in charge. So it will be an issue of promoting other people with their own interest, because hakuna munhu anongoita interest yake arega. These will be people with their own interest, but vane vanhu vavo vari pasi, which means you continue, the interest will continue, but our new face are kuya in charge, and it's very difficult to tell who is who when other people are neutral. So it's very dangerous. It's better to deal with the enemies you know than to deal with the enemies you do not know. Let us talk in the other episodes and other broadcasts.